So we are happy to explore anywhere that you wish, from the biggest to the smallest, from the macro to the micro, and anything in between. Certainly, the dynamics of the reflections of humanity right now are becoming, are allowing the divine intention to shine through in so many areas. Now, you may not see it unless you're looking, but from our perspective, there is a great deal of awakening taking place. There is a great deal of movement. Right. So, no, we're going to start with Adrian. Um, yeah. Well, she has the channel has been researching Gnosticism over the past, what shall we say, couple of months now, and has gone from what shall we say, a rudimentary understanding of the dynamics of the belief system to a greater understanding of the whole dynamic and the realization that when seers and others in the spiritual community tell you that everything that you have been told and have been taught is a lie, this actually backs that whole dynamic up. But you have to realize the levels of awareness, the level of consciousness that you have to have in order to be able to imagine that you might want to that this might not be the what shall we say, the reality that you wish to have, or that through the dynamic of consciousness, which is the way we prefer to look at it, through the natural dynamic of growth. This is a dynamic of energy, which how many times have we said to you, the kingdom of God is within you? The whole dynamic of you are all sparks of the divine. Well, that is the difference between what we talk about and the energies that we talk about, and the difference between almost all of the other things that are out there in your world that require an external savior or teacher or priest or rabbi in order to put you in touch with the divine, when the divine is simply right in your heart. All you need to do is to look for it. It's right in your heart center. And so if it's simple to take an exercise. Just imagine that you're just going deeper and deeper and breathe with the dynamic, and then just go in until and there's a certain point where you can ask, you can say, show me my spark, show me my energy, and it will happen. It will begin to take place in that sort of area. But again, you need to take that little time to quiet your mind, to quiet your heart. Because if you're not taking time to quiet yourself on a daily basis, you're missing out on a lot. You're missing out on a communication with your soul in a way that your soul can communicate with you most easily. Well, and then you have to trust yourself. You have to, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions that come to you in those places, you need to just kind of understand them, hold them and understand them. Don't judge them immediately. Don't judge yourself immediately that you're not good enough, or you don't have enough, or there is not enough, or any number of what shall we say, um, directions on that particular theme of not enough. And we're not looking at you.
Sorry.
We use Adrian as our shill.
Mhm.
She understands that. So, all right. So, did we answer your
I
question?
didn't ask.
Did you ask a
I didn't
question?
say a thing.
Was that us?
Yes, it was all you.
Was that all us?
It's all you. You are a labor-saving device.
All right. So go ahead, please.
Well, since since you/Josh have introduced the concepts of Gnosticism, I've been shocked to find so many parallels between what you've been teaching us over these 30 some years and
it's just how many times have we been telling you it's all the same, it's just different labels.
It's different labels, but at the same time, by looking through the lens of Gnosticism, I've had incredible awarenesses.
Because it explains the duality. The whole dynamic of gnosis is knowing. Remember what we said from way back in the beginning, one of the first things that we ever taught you, find knowing with a capital K. Well, maybe it should be knowing with a GNO for gnosis. Because it is because that's what gnosis means,
No.
is
Yeah.
knowing. All right. So we put it into English rather than into the old Greek. And we look at it through the dynamic of the language, the modern language that exists in your world, and it becomes more personal to you. Like we say, all that the dynamic of the belief in gnosis. Now, but you have to understand there's a pitfall there because gnosis has its own dogma. Okay, if you can move beyond the dogma and see the energies that underlie each of these personifications of energy, because like everything else, the Gnostics personified the energy in order to be able to understand it more. In other words, they made it more into a form that they could understand. Another human, a masculine, a feminine, a goddess, a god, they would put it into those contexts. And, the problem is that those labels became, what shall we say?
Rigid.
More rigid, dogmatic, dogmatic, dogmatic. But there is a truth there. There is an underlining energy that if you really look at it, and it's gonna rub you the wrong way in the beginning.
Yes.
It's going to rub you the wrong way in the beginning. But that's something that each of you has to, if there's supposed to be three kinds of humans on the planet. There's those that on the planet. What is that first one called?
I don't know, begins with an H.
Yeah, it's not very pleasant. These are the ones in your world that really don't have a soul. They're the NPCs. They're the ones that are, what shall we say, your politicians. Those that are in power, those that the only thing that matters is wealth and power, and that is their sole mindset. Is that dynamic? And there's a whole bunch of people on your planet who are, and so we would say, okay, it might be a little radical to say that they don't have a soul, but from our perspective, they don't have a soul. They're part of the dynamic of what is called the demiurge, what is called the God that you have all believed in.
So I wanted to say that one of the results of going in this direction, this exploration, has been real gut level realizations that so much of what I've been told
About life,
about
about morality,
about my
about God,
about myself
about the masculine, about the feminine, about everything. Like you say, everything is
wrong. It's wrong. And it just lifted incredible weights of I'm not fucked up.
Of guilt.
I'm not
Of guilt.
less than.
You mean I have permission to do anything?
I am okay. I mean, I think I walked around in daze for a day or so.
You mean I don't have to carry all this guilt for what I did when I was 22 years old?
Or what someone in my genetic past did, or what the women or feminine has done, or and it just
it's any number of
all sorts
any
of things
number of
lifted.
things that tail off from that dynamic of energy.
You two look like a TV show or like a back and forth. Like it's really like watching a show. I mean, good show, but yeah. Yeah, back and forth and back and forth. You say one thing, yeah, right, Jeannie?
We've
Or
done this for a
yeah,
long
she knows
time.
what I mean.
We've done this for a long, long time.
Can I ask a
Anyway,
question?
Sure, Jeannie. Go ahead. Nice to see
Did
you,
the
dear.
It's good to be here. Did the channel happen to read a book by John Lamb Lash called Not in His Image?
No, he's actually gotten it in a very magical way through the dynamics of the of YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Well,
So
there's a tremendous amount on Gnosticism, on and some well-produced things that basically give overviews of the dynamics of the different aspects of it. And it is such a complex dynamic because this one does not look at other people's work, generally speaking. He will find out that he has, if you know him at all, he has a certain dynamic of resistance to looking at other people's work because he does not want to be influenced by where their imaginations are going, since his
right.
imagination often goes to a very different sort of place. So he doesn't wish to, sully his energy in that sort of way. So one of the things that he does every day is he gets up at the wee small hours of the morning, goes to bed early too. Don't mistake that. Often he's in bed by 8, or even before.
Yeah.
Uh, so the dynamic of energy really, really is that when he gets up in that first thing in the morning, and sometimes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, he'll turn the computer on. He'll go through a number of things to basically solidify what he's understood about the past day. All right. And then he will begin to look. And YouTube is the last organized place that he will look. And the algorithm knows that anything gnosis he's interested in.
Ah,
All right. So the algorithm's going to put up different things. And he takes it kind of as a whisper from the universe. Doesn't treat it as a hard, fast, in concrete dynamic, but he takes it in a way of it's a hint of the universe, and he will either know within the first minute or two whether it's something that interested is going to interest him, and he's going to want to go more in depth into it, because there's all of these things about how they, one of the things in Gnosticism, one of the big things is that the energy Sophia, which was the feminine energy of wisdom, screwed up and created this world, this demiurge, by mistake. Well, that's bullshit. It wasn't by mistake, it was the dynamic of the movement of the divine intention for consciousness to expand and to be more. But because of the dynamic that exists between the masculine and the feminine on this planet, within this dynamic, then it has been couched as a way as the feminine fucked up and created this dynamic. Yes, that's a spiritual term. But you see, so it's all how you frame the dynamic of energy. So if you're looking, especially in a circumstance like this, because that led to the whole dynamic of Adam and Eve and the snake and the betrayal and the expulsion from the garden and the bullshit on the feminine from that. It was all the feminine's fault for wanting to be more. The blah, 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 blah. It's all just blah, blah in a sense of where the truth of the matter is it was a movement in the expansion of consciousness, the expansion of awareness. And in fact, it was quite an elegant thing if you look at it through objectivity and discernment. So, how was that for not answering your question?
Well, I made me, Jeannie, why did you ask about the book?
Well, because I read it and I wondered if there was an opinion about his
We,
portrayal of the whole story.
how does he portray the story?
Pardon?
How can you give us a thumbnail on how he portrays the story? How
Oh
would he
gosh.
portray the fall of Sophia?
You know, it's been long enough and the book was big enough and had so much information in it that I
Okay,
have a hard
we're
time.
not trying.
Yeah,
We're not trying to put you on the spot.
yeah,
I just want to say that the deep level of realization that Sophia was not a mistake, just like Eve, it was not a mistake.
right.
Hand in hand through reading this material, or with lifting that, having that pinnacle day when I realized I'm not bad and wrong because I'm a woman or because
Yeah,
I embody feminine energy. I'm
yeah,
honestly not.
yeah.
There's other
And
reasons I might not
that
like,
yeah,
whatever. But
that really resonated with me too when you were talking about that, because that was the feeling that I got from reading his book. And there was a lot of information in there that I had never had any concept of
No,
being
it's true.
a
It's a whole
reality.
different realm. It's
But
a whole
yeah,
different
but the
realm,
whole
and
thing
it's
about
got a,
the
a,
fall of Sophia and
a whole
yeah,
different cast of characters.
yeah, for sure. It
Yeah.
was a fascinating book. I do know that. And I want to read it again. It's just huge.
It's a fascinating subject because it makes so much sense of
Yeah,
your world and what your world believes.
yeah,
Not that that is completely the answer in and of itself, but it describes the situation. It describes the reason there's so much pain in the world. It
hmm,
describes the reason there is the duality, that it describes the reason that so many of you are so frustrated in the dynamics of your life's journey. It's because you've been taught all the wrong bullshit.
mm.
yeah.